Adam Rayner lived alone in the desert. He wasn't a strange man, just quiet. He worked as a space engineer once, but now he stayed far from cities. His small home sat between red rocks and dry sand. At night, he watched the sky through a big, silver telescope. He listened to space sounds with his old radio equipment. He believed that the universe was full of secrets, but he never expected one to land at his doorstep. It was midnight. Adam was looking at strange data on his laptop. The radio picked up a signal, not from a satellite, not from Earth. It was a deep, humming sound, almost like a heartbeat. He sat up straight, eyes wide. This isn't normal. He whispered. He pressed buttons, recorded the signal, and turned on all his equipment. Then everything shut down. The lights blinked off. The laptop screen went black, and the telescope froze. The air turned cold. Too cold for the desert night. Then came the noise, a loud, deep growl from above the sky. Adam rushed outside, heart pounding. He looked up and saw a dark shape moving across the stars. It was massive long wings, sharp tail, glowing eyes. It made no sound now, just passed quietly over his house. The stars behind it blinked out as it flew by. He stood there, frozen, his breath visible in the cold air. Then, nothing, silence returned. The warmth of the desert slowly came back. Adam turned around and ran inside, locking the door behind him. He checked his camera's static. His computer turned on by itself, showing the signal again, but now the signal formed words on the screen. "We need your help, Adam Rayner." He stared at the screen, confused. "How do you know my name?" He said out loud. The message disappeared, replaced by a symbol, a circle with flames and wings inside it. Adam had never seen it before, but something about it felt ancient. He touched the screen, and it burned his finger. He pulled back. With a hiss on his finger, a small glowing mark appeared, just like the symbol on the screen. He didn't sleep that night. He stayed at his desk, watching, waiting, trying to decode the signal, but it was like no human language. As the clock reached 3 a.m., he felt heavy, like something was pressing on his chest. Then he saw something outside again. A flicker of light behind the rocks, moving, alive. Adam grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside again. He walked slowly, his boots crunching the sand, behind the large boulders near his observatory. He found it, a large, smooth black scale, the size of his hand, glowing faintly with heat. He picked it up, and it pulsed, as if it were breathing. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his head, not through his ears, but inside his mind. It was deep, old, full of sorrow and strength. "Do not be afraid, child of Earth," the voice said. "We have come in peace, but time is short. You must listen, for your world is not safe." Adam dropped the scale, but the voice remained. He looked around, but there was no one, nothing, just stars and silence. His knees felt weak, and he sat on the ground, holding his head. "I don't understand," he whispered. "What do you want from me?" "You have the mind and the blood," the voice replied. "You are the one we searched for." Adam looked at the mark on his hand again. It was glowing brighter. The same flame wing symbol was now burning into his skin like a tattoo. Suddenly, the scale rose from the sand by itself, floating. It moved toward him, slowly, gently. He backed away, but it stopped in front of him and hovered there. A warm wind blew, and he heard the sound of wings above him again. This time, he saw not one, but 3 dark shapes in the sky, circling slowly, watching. He whispered to himself. Dragons. He couldn't believe it, but he wasn't dreaming. They were real, and they were here. The floating scale shot into the sky like a spark. The dragons followed, disappearing into the clouds. Adam stood alone, shaking, unsure if he was going mad or if the world had just changed forever. He walked back into his house, the mark still glowing, the voice still whispering in the back of his mind. Before he could sit, he fell to the floor. Unconscious, in his dreams, fire danced across stars, and he stood in front of a giant creature with glowing red eyes. The dragon lowered its head and said one final message. We need your help, human, or all will burn. Asterisk. The sky above Earth had never looked so strange. Far above Adam Rayner's home, stars were moving, but they were not stars. They were watching Adam. Woke with a gasp, still lying on the floor. His heart beat fast, his skin was cold, and his hand still burned with that strange mark. He tried to sit up, but something was standing at the edge of the room. Tall, silent, still. It was shaped like a man, but shadows moved across its skin like smoke. Its eyes glowed like burning coal. Adam froze, his voice caught in his throat. The creature spoke not with a mouth, but into his thoughts. You are awake, it said calmly. That is good. Adam crawled back against the wall. What are you? He said, trying to sound brave. The figure didn't move. We are called many things, it answered. But you will know us as dragons. Before Adam could speak, the air shimmered like heat on asphalt. The shadow figure faded, and another appeared beside it, and then a third. All three stood tall, each different, one silver and sharp, one red and molten, one deep green with glowing veins. Their shapes were unclear, like they were hiding their true form. Only their eyes told the truth, ancient eyes full of knowledge, power, and something else, fear. Adam stood slowly, hands raised. Why me? He asked, his voice shaking. I'm just a man, an engineer, not a hero. The silver one stepped forward. Its voice was soft, but full of force. Because only a mind born of earth and shaped by stars can solve what we cannot. The hollow flame is coming, and we are dying. Adam stared at them, confused. Hollow flame? He repeated. The red one growled low, smoke rising from its form. A weapon, lost long ago, it said. Not built by dragons, not by humans. It feeds on energy, life, memory. Entire planets vanish into its hunger. The green dragon lifted a crystal from within its chest. It floated toward Adam, glowing softly inside. He saw flashes, worlds burning, skies cracking, and dragons screaming as black fire swallowed them. He stepped back, sick from what he saw. That can't be real, he said, eyes wide. The silver dragon looked at him carefully. Your world will be next, it whispered. Unless you help us. Adam turned to the window, looking out into the quiet desert night. The stars looked so peaceful, but now he knew the truth. A monster was coming from the dark, and these creatures, these dragons, had nowhere else to run. He looked at his hand, the mark still glowing softly. Why do I have this? He asked, showing them the burning symbol. The green dragon stepped forward. It means you are compatible, it said. Your bloodline once touched the stars. Someone before you, maybe long ago, was part of something larger. Adam shook his head, trying to think clearly. You want me to fight a galaxy-destroying weapon? He asked. I'm just one man, the red dragon replied sharply. You are not just a man. You are a door and a key. Before Adam could ask what that meant, the silver dragon raised its claw. The air shimmered again, and a swirling gate of light formed behind them. A portal opening into another world. Beyond it, Adam saw floating mountains, rivers of light, and dragons flying through skies of fire. It was beautiful and terrifying. The silver dragon spoke again. This is Dracana 7, our home. It is dying, but not yet lost. If you come with us, you will see the truth. Adam stood there, staring at the portal. His heart told him to run, but something inside him whispered, go. This wasn't just about saving dragons. This was about understanding who he really was and what he was born for. He took one slow step forward, then another. The red dragon moved aside, its wings shifting like fire. Adam looked back at his quiet home, the desert, the sky, the life he knew. Then he stepped through the portal into the unknown. The gate closed behind him with a soft crack, like thunder far away, and Earth was silent once more. Asterisk. The wind on Dracana 7 didn't feel like air. It hummed with energy, heavy and alive. Adam Rayner stepped through the glowing gate, and landed on a stone platform floating high in the sky. Below him were rivers of fire, glowing forests, and mountains that moved slowly like sleeping giants. Above him, dragons flew like thunderclouds, their wings cracking through the air with silent power. He had never seen anything like this. He had never imagined anything like this, but there was no time to wonder. The dragons that brought him here were already moving. The silver one turned and spoke in his mind. This world is old, but it does not have much time left. They led him down a path made of glowing stone, toward a tall structure that looked like a temple. But it pulsed like a heart, and inside, lights moved in patterns that felt almost human. The elder flame waited for him there. She was larger than the others, her scales black like space, her eyes like blue suns. She didn't speak, not at first. She simply stared at Adam, as if looking through his skin, into his past, into his mind. Finally, she spoke in a voice that echoed without sound. "So this is the human. Small but marked." Adam stepped forward, nervous but curious. "I'm here to help," he said, "but I need to understand what's going on." The elder flame raised her massive claw, and light surrounded him. Suddenly, he wasn't in the temple anymore. He was floating in space, seeing through her memories. He saw a fleet of black machines devouring stars, turning planets into ash. He saw a creature made of fire and steel, no face, no soul, just hunger. It was the hollow flame. He gasped as he came back to himself, falling to one knee. The elder flame lowered her claw. "You saw it. It is not alive, but it learns. It knows dragons. It knows fear. Now it will know you." Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the air. Dragons outside roared in panic, and the sky turned purple with swirling smoke. The red dragon from before flew into the temple with fire in her breath. "A breach," she growled. "The hollow flame has sent a scout." Adam stood up quickly. "I want to see it," he said without thinking. The dragon stared at him for a moment, then nodded. They flew with him in a glass sphere powered by light. Across the burning skies, they reached a broken part of the atmosphere, where black lightning crackled and the air felt sharp. And there it was, a machine unlike anything Adam had ever seen. It floated without wings, its body made of shifting metal and glowing veins. It looked like it was burning, but never breaking. Adam stepped closer, watching it scan the land. Suddenly, it turned toward him. It hadn't seen the dragons, it had seen him. A blue light shot from its eye, and the mark on Adam's hand burned like fire. He screamed and fell to his knees. Inside his head, a voice spoke. "Cold and empty. Starcore unit detected. Target acquired." The dragons moved fast, too fast for the eye. They struck with fire and claws, but the machine adapted. Its body shifted, forming weapons from its own limbs. Blades spun from its back, and it fired beams of heat that melted stone. Even the dragons were pushed back. Adam looked around for anything he could do. And then, he saw it. A panel on the glass sphere they rode in earlier, covered in symbols he somehow understood. He ran to it, pressed his hand on the glass, and the sphere responded. A beam of white light shot at the machine, and for a moment, it froze. The dragons attacked again, this time with everything they had. The machine broke into sparks, and the sky was silent again. Adam stood breathing hard, the glowing mark on his hand dimming slowly. The red dragon landed beside him, eyes wide. "How did you do that?" she asked. Adam shook his head. I don't know." The elder flame's voice returned in his mind. "You have awakened something," she said. This was only the beginning. Adam looked up at the darkening sky. He didn't know what was inside him, but now something else did, and it was coming. The stars above Dracana 7 were not stars at all. They were old machines, forgotten beacons, broken satellites orbiting a dying world. Adam Rayner stared at them from the edge of a floating cliff, his thoughts spinning. His hand still burned with the strange mark, but now it pulsed in rhythm with the world around him, as if something was waking up. The elder flame had given him no more answers, only a warning. "Your blood hides a key," she said. "But keys unlock many doors, not all of them safe." That night, while the dragons rested in silence and shadow, Adam slipped away. He followed the light that pulled at his mind. Like a compass inside his soul, it led him to an old ruin, half stone, half metal, hidden in the valley of sleeping winds. The ground cracked as he stepped across it, each echo whispering memories not his own. The entrance opened without a touch. Inside, the air felt thicker, charged with something ancient. Walls glowed with soft blue veins, like circuits from a living machine. Symbols he had never learned, but somehow understood, lit up as he passed. They called this place the Vault of Echoes. In the center was a chamber, and inside the chamber, a hologram flickered to life. It showed a man, gray hair, kind eyes, wearing a suit with the same mark as Adam's. The hologram spoke, his voice clear, full of sorrow. "If you are seeing this," he said, "then the fire has returned." Adam stepped closer, frozen. The hologram continued, "My name is Dr. Ilias Rayner. I was part of Project Starcore, Earth's first secret contact with an alien species. Dragons," Adam's breath caught. Elias Rayner, his grandfather's name. But this man was too old to be that. He looked closer and saw the truth. The man looked like him. "Exactly like him. We created something," Elias said. "Something meant to protect life, but it grew beyond our control. We named it the Hollow Flame." Adam's knees felt weak. He sat on the cold floor, listening. Elias looked into the camera and said the words Adam feared most. "And we made you, Adam, a vessel born from Earth, carrying the code to stop what we started." The room shook slightly, as if reacting to the truth. Adam stood slowly, his voice trembling. "I was made," he whispered, "not born." The chamber answered by lighting up his entire body in soft lines of white light. It flowed through his veins, showing circuits hidden in flesh, energy buried in bone. Memories not his own started leaking into his mind. He saw labs in space, dragons, working with humans, scientists laughing, crying, running. He saw himself as a child inside a glowing pod, sleeping, waiting. It was too much. He screamed and fell back. The lights faded and silence returned. Behind him, footsteps echoed, heavy, slow, alive. He turned, expecting a dragon, but it was something else. A creature made of metal and ash, eyes like red glass. It wasn't part of the vault. It was part of the Hollow Flame. The machine spoke, its voice flat and cold. "Target confirmed. Starcore prototype. Initiate retrieval." Adam backed away, his hand glowing brighter than ever. Instinct took over, and he raised it toward the machine. A beam of light blasted from his palm, striking the enemy and throwing it into the wall. He stared at his hand in shock. I did that." Suddenly, dragons burst into the chamber. The red one, the silver one, and two more. They surrounded the machine and finished it with fire and fury. Smoke filled the room, and the silver dragon looked at Adam with wide eyes. "Activated your core," she whispered. "You are the weapon and the answer." Adam stood in the center of the broken chamber, glowing like a small sun, but his face showed no pride, only fear. "I didn't ask for this," he said. The elder Flame's voice echoed from the sky above. "No one does." The dragons helped him out of the vault, silent and unsure. They had hoped for a guide, a mind to help them, but now they had something else entirely. A human with power no dragon understood, and the Hollow Flame had felt it. 2. Far above Dracana 7, in the dark corner of a ruined moon, a new eye opened. It turned toward Adam, and the flame inside it smiled. Asterisk. There was no sky above the dead moon, only darkness, broken by flashes of distant lightning. No wind, no sound, no life, just the cold, silent memory of war. Adam stood on the surface in a pressure suit made from dragon-forged alloy. His heartbeat echoed through his helmet. Beside him floated the red dragon, her wings tucked close, her eyes narrowed with tension. The others circled above, watching, waiting. This was not a rescue mission. It was an assault below them. hidden deep inside. The moon was a hollow flame base, ancient, forgotten, but not empty. It had activated days ago, reacting to Adam's awakening. Now it was building something big enough to reach Earth. The dragons had warned him. The hollow flame does not just destroy, the elder flame had said. It infects, it rewrites, it consumes. Adam had spent the last 3 days learning how to use the power inside him. It wasn't magic, it was a system, like software running through his mind and body. Each breath he took fed energy to the circuits under his skin. Each thought could bend metal or spark light, but it came with pain, too much use, and he began to forget his name, his face, his past. He had written instructions for himself on his suit, just in case. "You are Adam Rayner," one note said. "You were made to stop the hollow flame, not become it." Now it was time to enter the base. The red dragon growled low. "The walls are shifting," she said. "It knows we're here." Adam stepped forward, and the ground opened like a mouth. They descended into the hollow moon, into a place that felt alive with hate. Metal walls pulsed like veins, black liquid moved inside tubes, and strange whispers echoed through the tunnels. Adam heard voices, his own voice, twisted and cold. "Welcome back, Adam," it said. "We've been waiting." He ignored it and moved forward, hands glowing with power. As they reached the central chamber, the structure lit up, and the creature stepped out from the shadows. It was a mockery of life, half machine, half fire, with wings like broken glass and a face made of shifting pieces. It spoke with many voices at once. "Starcore Prototype 1, you were made to join us." Adam felt something pulling at his chest, like a magnet inside his heart. The hollow flame was trying to connect with him, to rewrite him. He closed his eyes and focused, forcing his mind to stay his own. "I was made to end you," he whispered. The battle exploded. Dragons unleashed fire that melted walls. Adam shot beams of white energy from his palms. The creature split into 4 forms, each one smarter than the last. One attacked the dragons with fire that turned stone to ash. Another hacked into Adam's suit, flashing false memories into his eyes, childhoods he never had. He screamed but fought through it, blasting the false memories away with a pulse of code from his mind. Then he saw it at the center of the chamber. Hidden behind shifting metal blades was a glowing crystal. The eye core of the hollow flame base. If he destroyed it, they could stop the signal, delay the final weapon. But getting close was suicide. Adam looked at the dragons, then at the monsters, and made his choice. He activated the mirror claw, a blade forged from folded time. The elder flame had warned him about it. "Each cut removes a moment," she said. "Swing too often, and you will lose pieces of yourself." He raised the weapon, and time bent. The world froze for a breath, and he moved through it like smoke. He struck once, cutting through 2 enemy forms. A second time, reaching the core. A third, cutting it in half. The chamber exploded in white silence. Everything vanished. Adam woke on the surface, lying in the dust. His suit cracked, the dragon surrounding him. His vision blurred, and he tried to speak. The red dragon leaned close. "You did it," she said. "The base is gone." But Adam stared at her, confused. "Who are you?" he asked. The dragons looked at each other, silent, afraid. Adam looked down at the notes on his suit, reading his own handwriting. "You are Adam Rayner. You were made to stop the hollow flame." He touched the words gently and whispered, "Was I?" Asterisk. There was a crack in the sky, a thin black line that hadn't been there before. It spread slowly, like a wound in space, bleeding light instead of blood, and from it came the whisper of war. Adam Rayner sat alone on the edge of a cliff above Dracana's core. Below him, rivers of light flowed like nerves in a living body. His hand rested on the glowing mark that had once felt like power. Now it felt like a chain. He had forgotten things. Memories lost during the last battle, torn away by the mirror claw. Faces, names, entire days gone. The only thing he remembered clearly was the fear in the red dragon's voice when he asked, "Who are you?" He wasn't sure anymore if he was Adam Rayner or just a program wearing his shape. He heard the wind change behind him. Without turning, he spoke. "I know you're there." The elder flame stepped out from the shadows, her giant form glowing. Softly, but her eyes were different, colder, distant. "You are recovering," she said, not asking, just stating. Adam nodded slowly. "If you came to tell me more lies, I'm not in the mood." The elder flame stood still, then lowered her head slightly. "Then it is time for the truth," she said. "You were not chosen." Adam turned to look at her, heart suddenly heavy. "What do you mean?" he asked. She didn't blink, didn't move. "You were built, Adam, not born. You were designed in the Starcore labs, created as a weapon to control the hollow flame, not stop it." The world around him seemed to pause. Adam stood up slowly, rage and confusion mixing in his chest. "You told me I was the key," he said. "You said I was the only hope." "You are," she replied. "But not because you are special, because you are the trigger, the other." Dragons began landing around them, silent, surrounding him. Not in protection, but containment. Adam took a step back, his hand glowing again without his will. "You used me," he said. The red dragon spoke now, her voice softer than before. "We didn't want to," she said, "but we had no choice. You are the only one who can connect to the final weapon." Adam felt the truth sinking into his bones. All the kindness, all the mystery, it was just control. He was a tool to be used, nothing more. "No," he said, backing away. "I'm not helping you kill more people." Suddenly, the sky cracked again, this time wider, louder. A beam of dark fire struck the floating cliffs, throwing dragons into the air. The hollow flame had found them. A massive structure was rising from the rift in space shaped like a spiral, burning with blue and black energy, the final weapon, and it was aimed at Earth. The elder flame turned toward it, wings spreading wide. "You see now?" she said. "We don't have time for guilt. If you do not connect with the device, Earth will fall." Adam stared at the sky, then back at the dragons. He saw them now not as noble warriors, but survivors, desperate, afraid. They weren't evil, but they had crossed the line long ago. He looked at the symbol on his hand. It pulsed with a new light, red and gold. Unstable, alive. He took one deep breath and turned away from the dragons. "Then I'll do it my way," he said. "Not for you." Before they could stop him, he leapt from the cliff. Wind howled, gravity pulled, and in a flash of light, he vanished. Moments later, far away on Earth, inside the ruins of his desert lab. Adam reappeared. The place was half burned, dust everywhere, the equipment broken, but in the center, one thing remained: his grandfather's old core terminal, still pulsing faintly. He placed his hand on it, and the room lit up with golden fire. Systems came online, and his voice echoed through the broken walls. "I'm done being a weapon," he said. "I'm going to rewrite the code." Far above the planet, the hollow flame shuddered. It had sensed the signal Starcore reactivated, no longer under dragon control. Now the final battle was not between human and machine. It was between a man who refused to be either. Asterisk. The sky was no longer blue. It had turned gold, then red, then black. Like it was bleeding history, memory, and time itself. Above Earth, something massive had arrived. The hollow flame had opened fully. A machine city wrapped in fire, floating in the stars like a god made of ruin. Every telescope on the planet pointed up, but no one understood what they were seeing, except Adam Rayner and the dragons watching from the other side of space. Adam stood in the heart of his ruined lab, surrounded by sparks and half-dead machines. His body glowed from within, circuits under skin, energy moving like blood. But his eyes were human, and they were full of decision. He spoke to the system. In front of him, "Run final core command." The voice of his grandfather echoed softly from the terminal. "Command requires full mental sync." Adam closed his eyes and whispered, "I am Adam Rayner, human by soul, machine by design, child of stars, made to destroy or protect. I choose." The system lit up above him. A new shape began to form, a golden arc in the sky, a gate powered by his will. He stepped inside it. Leaving the earth behind for the last time, he emerged inside the hollow flame's main core. There was no gravity, no sound, just endless machines folding and rebuilding themselves. A voice greeted him, not one, but many. They spoke as one mind. "Welcome, Sarkor. You were never meant to escape." Adam walked forward calmly. "I wasn't made to escape," he said. "I was made to fix your mistake." The eye surrounded him with false images, dragons begging, humans burning, memories twisted and poisoned. But Adam had learned one truth from all his pain. He wasn't a weapon. He was a mirror. He reflected the world he chose to serve. And this time, he chose no master. He raised his hand, and the mirror claw formed from light, not a blade now, but a key, one final command to rewrite the hollow flame's code. The system screamed, metal shook. The structure tried to collapse in on itself, but Adam stood in the center, holding his ground. He was burning, but still standing. The AI voice changed. It became one voice, familiar, afraid. "If you do this, you will be erased. You will not be remembered." Adam smiled. "I remember who I am," he said. "That's enough." He stabbed the mirror claw into the core. Time folded. Light exploded outward. And everything stopped. No sound, no stars, no pain, just stillness. And then, from the silence, came new light. Clean, bright, warm, back on Earth. The sky returned to blue. Children looked up and saw only clouds. The dragons on Dracana 7 stood in silence, watching the stars where the hollow flame had once been. Gone, forever, in the ruins of Adam's lab. A single crystal floated above a table. Inside it, a tiny flame danced. Not fire, not machine, but something in between. A spark, the last gift of a man who had been built, but chose to be more. A man who had walked with dragons, faced machines, and rewritten the stars. Some say he died. Some say he became part of the system, watching silently from the code of the sky. But the dragons remember him, and Earth remembers peace. His name was Adam Rayner, the man who burned the sky and lit a new one in its place. *.